Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. This is yours truly, Coach Shock. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And we are here to go over the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Indianapolis Colts, the final round, last game of the year. Pretty much both teams are playing for pride at this point. Of course, the Colts season ended last week when they fell short to the Giants, which was a very embarrassing loss. But going into this week, they have a chance to win with pride. The last game of the year, DeForest Buckner and them, these guys still know how important it is to get a win, and that's how they want to go out. I'm pretty sure the Jaguars would like to do the same thing. We know how much of an annoying opponent the Jacksonville Jaguars are. They're probably our most challenging rival in the division, AFC South, because the Colts always are very unlucky against the Jaguars, mostly at on the road in Jacksonville. Duval is just very hard to play there for a lot of teams, and the Colts are one of them. The Colts have a lot of good positive outlooks against the Jaguars while at home. Like I said, it's one of those matchups that's just very ugly, both sides of the play. Especially this year, both of these teams, um, you know, both of these teams overall are very low performing. You expect a little bit better out of both of these teams, but like I said, it's been a roller coaster year for both of these teams. So hopefully they're going to be trending to the right direction soon. But we're going to go ahead and dive into this preview. Anthony Richardson looked like he might be out this game, so it looked like his season may have ended a little bit earlier than what we expected. He had a very roller coaster year with the whole top out situation and everything. Joe Flacco's been pretty much trying to lead the way. He had a pretty solid outing last week, so hopefully he can go into this week at home and try to have another good outing, maybe a little bit less turnovers. But against this Jacksonville Jaguars team that pretty much always has the Colts number, you never know how it may go. It is the cardiac Colts at the end of the day. That's my nickname I give them. They always would tend to find a way to pretty much go out there and lay an egg. They did last week against New York. Hopefully, back at home this week, they can go out there and make some noise. Hopefully, we can evaluate some talent. There's pretty much been an evaluation year anyway at the end of the day, in my opinion. A lot of people have that aspect with Anthony Richardson going into this year, just evaluate to see where he is mentally and physically, gameplay wise. Look like he's still got a lot of growing pains to go through. But, prayers to him and this injury he has going on with his back spasm. Per report, they said he's had this injury since high school. So this is a very interesting scenario to go in moving forward. Last year of his rookie contract is next year. So, I mean, you still have time to evaluate him. I think it wouldn't be fair if you would just close the door on him after this season. But again, this injury that he's had lingering for a long time is very concerning. It's a red flag, in my opinion. Hopefully, he can get it figured out in the offseason. And hopefully, he just gets this injury removed that he's been battling all his life. Like I said, it's kind of crazy for this scenario. The injury reports never really give you the true issue of what's going on. So they came out today, and just hearing that news is just very crazy to see. But I'm going to go over the injury report for the Colts. Anthony Richardson is the only person that looked like he's going to be out this week. So we're probably going to get another Joe Flacco outing. In my opinion, I would say just give it to Sam Ellinger. He's been on the sideline all year. I think he's due for just one more performance. And he's pretty much electrifying as well. I think he's very electric and entertaining to watch. Might not be the best quarterback, but he did show some progression the last time I seen him. So hopefully him going out there, he can show something. And look, man, his former college, Texas, they're having themselves a nice little outing so far. Nice little battle they had in that playoff game. So it's due for Sam Elliott to go out there and play football. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Who would you like to see start a quarterback for this last week? But Anthony Richardson is the only person that's out. Juju Brents is going to be playing. Josh Downs is going to be playing. Quentin Nelson is going to be playing. And Michael Pittman Jr. Shout out to the Pro Bowlers. Zaire Franklin, Quentin Nelson, and Jonathan Taylor has all been listed to the Pro Bowl, which is huge. It's amazing to hear from that. We got some Pro Bowlers on our side. So, I mean, that's always a bonus to get some guys from home for the Colts to make it to the Pro Bowl. So it's going to be interesting. Shout out to those guys. They had a very good season. Of course, the record doesn't show that, but their gameplay has never gone unnoticed. So appreciate a shout out to all of those guys, Taylor, Quentin Nelson, and Zaire. DeForest Buckner didn't make it. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, we got some guys. Quentin Nelson definitely deserves it. Had a very up and down season, but I think he's one of the most solid linemen out there on the offensive side and one of the best at his position. So shout out to those guys. Zaire Franklin led the league in tackles. Still and Jonathan Taylor is one of the best runners in the league, and he's pretty much uh, the will of this offense for the Colts. Going into the injury report for Jacksonville, Walker Little didn't practice. Urza Cleveland was limited. Ventrell Miller was limited. Darnell Savage was full. He's back, and Brandon Sheriff was limited. So those are guys that's going to be pretty much on the radar going into this game. But going over this matchup for the Colts, like I said, it's always an up and down outing against these two. But I feel like the Colts might have the edge just due to home field advantage. Both of these teams are pretty good at defending their homes when it comes to this matchup. But it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes. I feel like it's going to be a low scoring game just due to how both of these teams have performed all year. So I'm not expecting a lot of points out of both of these teams. But then again, like I said, it's the Colts, so they didn't they let the Giants put up 45 last week. So I'm pretty sure Mac Jones could have himself a nice little game if he was to play. But going into this matchup, the Jacksonville Jaguars are 25th in points per game. They average 19 points. They're one of the worst in yards per game. Pass game isn't great, but the rushing game isn't great either. But going up against the Colts, I feel like they can pretty much probably run the football. I mean, Tank Bixby had himself a nice little match, a nice little game against us the last time we matched up. Etienne had himself a good game as well. And Brian Thomas Jr., how can we forget? Brian Thomas Jr. just pretty much picked us apart. But hopefully that's not the issue going into this week. Kenny Moore got a game. He got to bounce back after last week. Pretty much everybody on that defense got to bounce back. Last week's matchup against the Giants was not very pleasant for the Colts. Very poor tackling, poor coverage, just all around. The pressure couldn't get there. And, Drew Lock just had himself a field day. So hopefully this game we can get some sacks. Look like Latu, in my opinion, I feel like he's going to be the guy I'm going to be watching. Hopefully he has himself a big game. And, I'm looking forward to the young guys getting some reps out there. It's the last game of the season. So hopefully the Colts can put it away early and we can get the young guys out there to flourish and make some plays. But, other than that, I think the defense is the biggest question going into this matchup for the Colts. They got to step up after what happened last week. And it's only due. It's only right, especially after that outing against the Giants. You pretty much threw your playoff hopes away after that performance. So hopefully this game, the defense can step up and make some plays. Looking for Jonathan Taylor to make a big splash this week against the Jaguars at home. I think he's due for it. He's having himself a very good season. But I think, he's the will of this offense. If it's not Jonathan Taylor, your identity should have been running the ball since the season started. He's the only guy, I believe, besides Josh Downs, that can go out there and give you positive yards per play. So my identity is run the football, pretty much find your guys in the seams, and just get the offense flowing. I think the offense flows when you got a good run game. Pretty much having Quentin Nelson as your lead blocker can be your pretty much identity. The Colts are 8th in rushing per game, so they got to run the football, man. I think if they would have stuck with it all year with better blocking, I think the blocking got improved when Mark Lewinsky came back to the Colts after acquiring him from free agency. But like I said, this offensive line's been battling injury all year. Ryan Kelly, Braden Smith, pretty much all the offensive line's been battling injury. I think Quentin Nelson's the only one that's pretty much been sticking around the whole season. But bouncing rookies in and out, switching people over, it's been a lot. But when you see the consistency with the offensive line, when they're all geeked up and ready, full health, you see what the production can be for the offense. So running the football should definitely be the identity for the Jaguars. For the Colts against the Jaguars this week. The pass game hasn't been great. Last week we've seen some type of positive light. So hopefully we can see that again this week. But it depends on who's playing quarterback. Like I said, in my opinion, I would like to see Sam Ellinger, but we don't know what Joe Flacco might have at the end of this year. He might retire. Who knows? But we would like to get a farewell tour. That'd be great. But if he finishes it in Indianapolis after the season, it'll be a sad way to go out. But it is what it is at the end of the day. The Colts has just been a roller coaster all year. But ending this year with a W against the Jaguars would be pretty good. It's something that I got to leave here with something. That's the only thing I can say. I got to leave here with something positive on the bright side. And then we can get this figured out, the situation of what the Colts' future may hold, what they may do moving forward. But, beating the Jaguars is just just one play at a time, because find your consistency, find your system of what you want to run, how you want to operate it against this team, and whatever you do, just keep it going. I think running the football, like I said, should be the blueprint, the how to beat the Jaguars, and just don't go away from it. If it's working, if it's broke, don't fix it. So hopefully Jonathan Taylor can have himself a big week, find the end zone a few times, and then put the game away early, and then get the young guys in there. So that's pretty much the identity. Just don't let Mac Jones have one of those Drew Lock games. If not, it might be a riot in Indianapolis, just due to the gameplay performance that we may see. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I'll be back after the game to give you guys a reaction to it. You guys stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be back next week to talk about the game, and then we'll move forward from there to see the direction of the Colts and how they head, depending on the outcome of this matchup. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I appreciate all your support. Follow me on all platforms. This is Culture Shock, and until next time, we'll see you. Peace.